This is an All Ears English podcast, episode 1857. This may be the best grammar episode ever. Welcome to the All Ears English podcast, downloaded more than 200 million times. Are you feeling stuck with your English? We'll show you how to become fearless and fluent by focusing on connection, not perfection, with your American host, Aubrey Carter, the IELTS whiz, and Lindsay McMahon, the English adventurer, coming to you from Arizona and Colorado, USA. To get real-time transcripts right on your phone and create your personalized vocabulary list, try the All Ears English app for iOS and Android. Start your 7-day free trial at allearsenglish.com/app.
When should you use maybe and when should you use may be? In today's episode, we break down the key differences between the adverb and the verb phrase. Listen in for our top tips. Hey, Lindsay, how's it going?
Hey, it's going well, Aubrey. I have a question for you.
Oh, yeah.
All right. You doing anything fun this weekend?
Maybe. I may be going out on the lake with my dad. He has a boat and he takes us out with this giant tube called Big Mabel. We can fit 5 kids on it and he just pulls them behind the boat. It's the most fun.
Oh my gosh. I heard a lot of Mabels, maybes, maybe. I'm really confused about all these Mabels and maybes here.
Right. Big Mabel, that brought it even more. Yes, we're talking about maybe versus the verb may be. We got a great question about this, right, Lindsay?
Yeah. And by the way, the weekend sounds fun. That's exciting. I love that kind of thing. Summertime, going out there, just getting out in nature. It's the best. It is the best. Yeah. But before we get into this good question we have from our listeners, guys, I want to say thank you to our listeners who have reviewed us in the Google Play Store, right? All of you guys who are using our Android app, we have an Android app and you've reviewed us. So thank you to Mohammed Isaido, Herman Perez, I can't read that name, Khaled Rabi, Moen Samani, and thank you to Mohammed Andari. Guys, leave us a review wherever you listen, a rating and a review, whether it's in the app, iOS or Android, or Google Podcasts, or Apple Podcasts, or Spotify. Leave that rating and review. We want to see what you think about the show.
Yes, awesome. I love the reviews. Okay, we have this great question. So I'm going to go ahead and read this. Ready?
Yes, let's do it.
All right. This is from Minaj from India. I recently read maybe somewhere without a space, and I knew previously that may be are 2 words with a space. I looked it up in Google and found that maybe is an adverb, which has the same meaning as probably, and maybe 2 words is a verb phrase. I want to hear from you about the difference between these two and where should we use them? Also, how should we pronounce each one of them? Thanks in advance. Thank you, Minaj, for the question.
Yeah, Minaj, great question. And so key, so good for our listeners at their level, right? At this intermediate to advanced level. It's fantastic.
Yes, for sure. Right. And she's right with what she found online. But I think it is so valuable to hear the explanation and some, example sentences and a role play. It's so helpful to really get a deep dive into it.
Well, just because these words are so common, Aubrey, we use them all the time. Maybe, probably. They're everywhere. OK, so let's get into it now. So
yeah, first of all, maybe one word has two different forms. Right. First of all, is an adverb, like she said, possibly or perhaps, and then also as a noun. So let's give some examples of both. First, as an adverb.
Okay, so here we go. So as an adverb, guys, maybe we should get a puppy. That was my thinking at the beginning of the pandemic. It was the right choice, but it was, I think puppies, when they're raised in the pandemic, they can be a little weird. I will say that much.
So maybe this wasn't the best choice.
Yeah, in some ways, I think that still. Yeah, but no, I love my dog Kiefer, and he's the best. He's the best. All right, what's the next example, Aubrey?
So that's maybe the worst joke I've ever heard. I love maybe this way, and I wouldn't necessarily use possibly or perhaps, right? Mm-hmm. And listen to the pronunciation there, right? It's kind of a funny way of saying, oh, that was a bad joke. That's a dad joke. Like, that's maybe the worst joke I've ever heard.
You used a unique pronunciation. You kind of elongated it a little bit. That's maybe the worst joke I've ever heard, right? Mm-hmm. Kind of fun. And then
I heard one. I was just watching the movie Tombstone. Have you ever seen that one about Wyatt Earp?
Yeah. I've seen
like an old West movie. Yeah. It's so good. I really like it. It was really well done. Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday. And as I'm preparing this episode, he says, maybe you better swear me in. This is right before the shootout at the OK Corral. He asks his brother to swear him in as like an official lawman.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. To like deputize him, right?
Oh, make him a cop or something. Okay. Got it.
Yep. They're about to have this shootout. And he's like, for this to be legal, I need to be an official lawman.
Okay.
Official cop.
The Wild West, the days of the Wild West, right? Very interesting.
But for all three of those, it has the same meaning as perhaps or possibly, and it would be written as one word being used as an adverb.
Yes, I love it. That's how we use it as an adverb. And then as a noun, here's some examples, right? No ifs, buts, or maybes. So there it's just a noun. It's just another object in that sentence.
Yeah, this is a really fun expression that we'll use. You're wanting to say, this is going to happen. You'll say no ifs, buts, or maybes.
Oh, the one I actually hear more often is no ifs, ands, or buts. No ifs, ands, or buts.
So you can do both.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. You can pick and choose, right? But that's the chunk that I'm more used to. This one, no ifs, buts, or maybes, I'm not as I don't know it as much. Yeah.
Might be geographic. This is the one we said growing up, and I say it to my kids now because I don't want them to say, but maybe if we did but what if this, right? So we'll cut it off. We'll head it off with no ifs, buts, or maybes.
Yeah,
don't
kids
ask.
tend to do that, right? Maybe this, but what if this, but can we do this, right? Yeah.
Exactly. And the other way we use it as a noun is the expression, I'm a maybe. So if someone asks you to commit to something, if they're asking if you'll be at the party, you can say, I'm a maybe, meaning I might be there, but it's not for sure.
This one's so common. And I just used this morning when I was sharing with someone that I work with that someone else was a maybe to attend an event in August. He's a maybe, right? Can I let you know later? Right. So yeah, really, really common in the business world and just in life in general, guys.
Exactly. Right. And so the next is this verb phrase, may be, which so be is our verb. And then may is a modal like might. Could. It's indicating how much that verb might be, right? So it means might be. It's used to indicate that something's uncertain, but has a chance of being true.
Yeah, perfect. And this is what you used in the beginning. Well, you used both in the beginning in our initial conversation, right? You said, maybe I may be going to the lake. Right?
Exactly, right? So I first used that adverb and then with the verb, I may be going to the lake out on my dad's boat.
Yes. Okay, so here's some examples in this way we use it, guys. They may be asked to help if we're shorthanded. So saying the same thing as they might be, right?
Exactly. And we may be out of town next week. Or next weekend.
Or we might be out of town next weekend.
Yep, both would work. It's just letting you know it's not for sure it might happen.
Okay, I love it. All right, what else, Aubrey? What else do we need to know here?
Well, there's this really fun expression we want to teach you guys that natives use all the time, where they'll say, I may be this, but at least I'm not that, right? I hear this all the time. I might say, I may be bad at this game, but at least I'm having fun.
And that's a good attitude to have, right?
Yes, right.
Yeah, because most
do you hear this a lot, Lindsay?
Yeah, I do. And this is for sure. And it's good because it signifies a sense of optimism, right? If you can say this, I may be this, but at least I'm this, right? You convey the positive side of yourself. It's
exactly good. Right. You're acknowledging like, okay, maybe I'm not great at that, or maybe I'm feeling this way, but at least and share something positive. At least I can do that.
I feel like this is something my dad used to say when he would cook us dinner and he wouldn't do a very good job with it. Like he would say this, like maybe I'm a bad cook, but at least I have fun, right? It's totally something my dad dad would say. It's so funny.
Yes. You're going to start hearing it now all the time, guys. I feel like it's very common.
Yes.
There's a really funny, famous quote, Terry Bradshaw, who was a football player. Now he's like a sports commentator. And he said, I may be dumb, but at least I'm not stupid, or something like that. But I'm not stupid. And that people were poking fun at him because those mean the same thing.
Interesting. Yeah, they do mean the same thing, right? Don't they? Yes.
Yes. He kind of used this expression incorrectly, because you're supposed to say like, I may be this, but at least I'm not something else, something different, something positive.
That's hilarious. That would be a great episode idea. We could do another episode on just really, really silly quotes that people have made over the years. That just maybe we take the names off for the sake of the people, but just we can teach our listeners those and why they're so silly the way they're said.
So
That'd
funny.
be a great episode. All right. Okay, Aubrey, let's break into a role play to show our listeners.
Okay, so in this role play, you and I are on vacation and we're discussing what we can squeeze in the last days before our flight home.
Okay, here we go.
All right. Maybe we'll have time to see a museum tomorrow morning.
We may be able to hit one in the morning if we get there right when it opens.
Our flight leaves at 3, right? Maybe we won't have time.
It may be cutting it close.
Maybe we should just do brunch instead, somewhere fun.
Oh, yeah. I may be a big breakfast person, but I also love brunch.
Nice.
All right, good. I mean, one thing that's important to show our listeners here is you have to, obviously, guys, take that pause. You have to add the pause, right? There's a very different pronunciation between maybe we'll have time versus we may be able to hit one in the morning, but it's so subtle.
Very small. It's true. I agree. It's very minimal. Interesting. Okay, so let's go through this. So first I said, maybe we'll have time to see a museum tomorrow morning. And this construction is interesting where I'm asking a question, but I'm starting with maybe instead of the subject we.
I do that all the time. I do that
too.
all the time. Yeah, that's really common. And then I said, we may be able to hit one in the morning if we get there right when it opens.
Yep. And then I said, our flight leaves at 3. Maybe we won't have time.
Mm-hmm. And then I said, it may be cutting it close.
Yep. And this is that verb where it's 2 separate words. If you guys have the transcripts in the app, you're seeing this all, because this is one where it's tricky. If you can't see when it's separate, you might have a hard time figuring out which one we're using when, right? That's the verb phrase. It may be cutting it close.
Yeah, this would be, I agree with you, Aubrey. We need the transcripts for this. I mean, the app is a great way to get those, or you guys can also get those delivered to you by email. We still offer that option. If you go to allearsenglish.com/subscribe. And then where are we here, Aubrey?
And then I said, maybe we should just do brunch instead.
Yeah, somewhere fun. And they said, oh, yeah, I may be a big breakfast person, but I also love brunch.
Right? That's that fun expression, right? I probably already know that you love breakfast.
Yes, I do.
And maybe you like eating breakfast really early, but you're saying, okay, I may be a big breakfast person, but I also love a good brunch.
Yeah. That's sometimes true. Mostly I'm not a brunch person, but what about you? Are you a brunch person?
Oh my gosh, I love brunch. Yes, brunch. I love a mimosa. I don't know about you. On Mother's Day, we went to this brunch place and it was a blueberry orange mimosa and it tasted like heaven. It was so delicious.
I've always been more of a Bloody Mary person than mimosas. For some reason, mimosas just are too sweet for me. Just the orange juice.
I like it sweet. Oh, yeah. I love it sweet. But my husband would agree with you. He loves the Bloody Mary. There's this place in Arizona called Hash Kitchen that has a big Bloody Mary bar where it's all this like pickled stuff and meat. And so you can put it and it ends up giant like a bouquet of flowers.
I know. Once when I was in Nashville, we went to brunch somewhere and we got bloodies. We call them bloodies, right?
Fun.
Bloody Marys, bloodies. And they just made the biggest Bloody Marys where they would have your drink. And then coming off of it, as you said, there's this stick and it's just loaded up with stuff. I think there was like 3 strips of bacon on it. And God knows what else was on there.
Pickled cauliflowers and olives.
Exactly. And it ends up being bigger than the drink itself. What's on top of it is so ridiculous.
So funny. Do you eat the stuff coming out of your Bloody Mary?
Yeah. I've never personally gotten a Bloody Mary that big like that. I just saw those being handed out. But but I would. I would for sure eat all that. I love pickled vegetables. Oh, so good. Me too. And they taste so good with Bloody Marys. Yes, good stuff, guys. So go out and enjoy a nice brunch if you're in the mood for it. And what's the takeaway for today's episode?
Yeah, this is tricky grammar, right? Just this very subtle difference between maybe and then maybe, two words.
Yeah.
Today's breakdown, I think, really helps you understand why, right? What maybe, how it is as an adverb and a noun, and then maybe the verb phrase, so that you can understand it and be comfortable using it and understand what people are saying when you hear both.
Yeah, I mean, this is just one of those nitty gritty things you guys need to know about English because it's so common. Okay. So when you hear natives using these, again, imagine in your head, which one did they say? Make sure you know. And it's obviously especially important too with writing. We need to make sure we're making that split.
Exactly, right? To make sure you're writing the correct version, because though they sound the same, really, they are written separately. There's a space for the verb phrase.
There's a space. You need that space if you're going to be using that second version of it. So good. This has been great, Aubrey. Guys, hit follow on the podcast so you don't miss a single episode. Good stuff, Aubrey. I'll talk to you very soon.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to All Ears English. Would you like to know your English level? Take our 2-minute quiz. Go to allearsenglish.com/fluency score. And if you believe in connection, not perfection, then hit subscribe now to make sure you don't miss anything. See you next time.